MRDC opens 20 million kina building in Leh. Government launches Rigo Inland Road connecting communities. And a look at sand mining against environmental impact.
This is National MTV News with Jeremy Mogi.
Hello and welcome. This is Wednesday's news. The MRDC's latest investment of a 20 million kina building in Leh has been welcomed by Morobe MPs. The building adds to the trustee company's 150 million kina property portfolio. It comes as Morobe province finalizes discussions over the Wafi mine. MRDC's Managing Director Augustine Mano is confident of new growth in the coming years.
The Gobe House is the latest addition to the MRDC's properties in PNG in the Pacific. It cost a little over 20 million kina and adds to a portfolio worth 150 million kina. MRDC's Managing Director Augustine Mano says the company expects to capture the benefits of mine development in the coming years after the Wafi mine starts.
Morobe's approval of projects in terms of dealing with the authorities much faster than in NCDC, and that's one of the encouraging things. And then the development that is happening in Morobe, I think it's an area we're seriously looking at.
The MRDC holds one of the biggest stores of the country's resource wealth. It's money coming from mining, gas and oil interests. The company's total value is estimated to be 6 billion kina, the equivalent of 1/3 of Papua New Guinea's annual budget. And this is the first MRDC investment of its kind in Leh City.
I understand the value is about 26 million.
And Leh MP John Rosso says he wants to see more.
Because the more they invest, the more jobs we create for our people and the more taxes they pay.
So potential really is for Morobe to spearhead the growth of Papua New Guinea.
I think they have the capacity to invest more into Morobe.
The company expects to have all floors occupied in the next 2 months. It has also indicated some new investments in energy and the hotel business. Scott Waide, National MTV News, Leh.
Rigo inland communities of Central Province hope to have better road access following the launch yesterday by Prime Minister James Marape. The 43-kilometer road will connect inland Rigo to the Magi Highway and into Port Moresby. Funding for the road project will cost about 27 million kina over a period of 7 years.
After years of struggle in accessing better road, communities in the inlands of Rigo will soon see better roads in the electorate. Prime Minister James Marape touched down, including the local MP, Central Governor, Works Minister and other leaders. Jubilant locals to the ground to welcome the dignitaries. The Rigo Inland Road is a missing link and a national road.
It's recognized by the Department of Works as an important missing link. And may I also add that it is actually classified as a provincial road.
The new road connection will stretch for 43 kilometers, linking neglected areas like Rigo Central, Boku and Sivi Tatana. It hopes to open up services in the area. Funding of about 27 million kina will be put to use over a 7-year period. The government is committed to complete the project.
I give him assurance today, not just here in Rigo, but in every part of our country where we have committed to connect. We will stick to this plan for the next 5 years and another 5 years, 2020 to 2025 and 2025 to 2030. And we can deliver in a 10-year program these roads we want to deliver for our people, for our country.
The road project is under the National Planning PAP funding. Works Minister Michael Nally says building roads has been a challenge for the department and consecutive governments have pushed for better roads.
I would love to build all the roads in my country, including Rigo. But I am limited to what is provided to the department. I blame no government.
Upon completion of the Rigo Inland Road project, more communities will access better markets and other services within the district and province. With Central prioritizing economy empowerment in its development agenda, Governor Agarobe says the road is vital.
Of course, we have to prove that these are all economic roads and will get a return in our investment first. Hence, our economic plan
in agriculture, tourism, and complemented with sports.
Common Construction will commence the road project this year. Jack LaPave Jr., National MTV News.
As a Singaporean company with Chinese interests works to get approval to mine sand along a 50 square kilometer stretch of coastline in Madang, many Papua New Guineans remain unaware of the impacts of this multi-billion-dollar global industry. In the region, many governments have only recently developed specific policies and guidelines on sand mining. The environmental impacts have left many communities and habitats with long-term damage. Research published by the World Wide Fund, or WWF, in 2018 estimates that 50 billion tons of sand are mined every year, with much of it going to feed the construction demands in Asia. In Papua New Guinea, weak enforcement of laws and regulations could leave us with long-term environmental damage and social disruption. In this special report, Scott Wider looks at sand mining and its impacts.
Sand mining is an industry that stays largely under the radar. And in Papua New Guinea, the lack of understanding of the environmental and social impacts of sand mining puts us at risk of bad decisions that could cause widespread destruction of villages. In September, when the Mineral Resources Authority conducted mining warden hearings at villages at the Sumgirbal local level government area, some of the meetings were met with resistance from the locals who felt that there wasn't enough consultation and awareness. The proposed stretch of operation for the Singaporean registered sand mining company is on a long stretch of beaches where people from 10 large communities live. Unless there is widespread awareness, the decisions that could possibly be made by customary landowners could result in the displacement of their own villages and the destruction of internationally recognized turtle conservation sites. Wenceslaus Magun, who heads Makata, a local NGO, says a lot more awareness is needed on the impact of sand mining.
Sabas mipla no sabe na use ignorance mipla no kam na talk exploration license go ahead na conductive na give mining license na miner am kam na kisi wesan go one kind of single by wakilo krumbukaria.
Overseas, there is growing concern over the rate at which sand is being mined around the world. Much of the demand is being driven by construction in Singapore and China, two large economies in the region growing at unprecedented rates.
No sand, no modern civilization.
Sand mining has also become the subject of TED Talks, focusing on the impacts and its value to growing communities.
Gambia, in Kenya, in Indonesia, and many other places, people have been assaulted and tortured and murdered all over sand.
25 islands have already disappeared. Indonesia is shrinking, and that's because of the immense quantities of sand it has provided to neighboring Singapore.
The enormous consumption of construction sand means that Papua New Guinea's beaches are now in the sights of multinational corporations keen to get a hold of cheap sand for export. New Guinea Sands Limited expects to make up to 10 million kina in its initial stages of operation and gradually expand into an ever-growing international construction sand market in Asia. Its projected revenue is expected to grow by 15 to 35% in the long term. But one question remains. As a country, how much do we really know about sand mining?
Do we know other mineral components in the sand that they are trying to extract? You think him? No one plus study him, so me plus him. Oh, this la Western, this la kind mineral component inside the Western. Now talk sand as well generally. Now to give me a license to exploring sand mine and mining sand. That's not good. You know, a feasibility study has to be conducted independently.
And this is what small-scale sand mining looks like. This is in Sierra Leone in Africa, where miners have stripped sand off beaches and river mouths. In this multi-billion-dollar global industry, it's the money that matters and the large-scale urban development which drives the demand for sand. In India, weak laws and enforcement of existing regulations have given rise to a host of problems, including organized crime, theft of beaches, and serious environmental damage.
The whole sand mining story started because I was attacked.
One of the international faces of the anti-sand mining push is Indian environmentalist Sumaira Abdul Ali. She recounts experiences that in some instances resonates with Papua New Guineans who own land.
There was a time when they owned the land. Today, this is the kind of work they engaged in, because the process of urbanization, which we all take for granted as being imperative, actually means that these people have been dispossessed from their land.
Well, the government has reiterated that other sand mining projects will fall under the Mining Act. Specific legislation on sand mining and the understanding of its impacts is lacking. And this in itself opens up opportunities for abuse.
Among stories after the break, law enforcement agencies meet to discuss gender equality and women in politics, welcome changes on the organic law on political parties and candidates. Stay with us. Welcome back. The PNG Health Support Workers Association is given a 14-day notice to the Department of Personnel Management to speed up the process to have a memorandum of agreement signed. The MOA seeks to recognize the role of its members and a review of the association's objectives. Executive members expressed dissatisfaction in a media conference yesterday, stating that if the MOA is not signed by the end of the month, the association will close its doors, and this will be followed by legal proceedings. Annette Cora reports.
The PNG Health Support Workers Association, along with its plans to close its doors of support services in the country, comes after the Department of Personnel Management gave its assurance of the association's justifications of its log of claims received on the 25th of September 2020, and that it would get a favorable response in a week's time. However, 3 weeks has gone by, and the prolonged delay is raising tension at the national and provincial health authority levels. A registered entity under the International Labour Law since 2015, the association during its annual general meeting in late September came up with 3 resolutions put forward to the Department of Personnel Management to sign the MOA. This will give way for the log of claims to be processed for health support workers nationwide.
So our resolution still stands. We give 14 days as of this Friday 16. After that, we'll give 14 days. Nothing happens, we either shut down the system. We lock down everything. There's no open doors now. No open doors now. Enough is enough. No open doors. We shut the system down. The next option is that legal proceeding will come in a court order to the state.
The association president stated that they have given DPM an ample time of 3 weeks to respond to the grievances, and to date, the DPM has not shown any positive response, indicating a total negligence of the process.
We made the decision to come on the media for the sake of our good members to our country, to ease the tense up here. That members to our country, this is to let you know that we are not sitting down and doing nothing.
The prolonged delay on the log of claims include overtime, risk allowances, housing allowances, pay increases, as well as some important designation of positions that were left out.
We do some special areas, service allowances, housing allowances, special DMA. It only applies to a certain category of workers we have, yeah.
The PNG Health Support Workers Association represents the non-clinicians. This is the group of health workers who are basically an essential part of a health or social care system that carry out routine clinical duties and essential fundamentals of care and report directly to a registered healthcare practitioner. Failure on the DPM's part to respond favorably to the association in the next 14 days will see to the closure of health support services in the country, followed by legal proceedings to court order. This is most likely to cause a ripple effect of more delays and other health services being affected down the line in the months coming. Annette Cora, National MTV News.
A workshop on gender equity and social inclusion was conducted yesterday for the law and justice sector agencies. The GESI policy is an administrative policy for the National Public Service and is intended to administer grey areas within the human resource. The initiative is a collaborative effort of all government agencies.
The workshop started with Police Commissioner addressing all participants and acknowledging the role of women. The GESI policy aims to address sexual harassment, stereotypes and gender-based violence that exist in workplace, and it will be institutionalized into existing business process and procedures. DPM Secretary Taya Sansan, when addressing the workshop, says its primary purpose is to reflect the responsibility, honesty, integrity, respect and accountability within workplace. It aims to ensure service delivery is socially inclusive and accessible.
The outcome of the GESI training will benefit the administrative and implementation areas within all organizations. It also creates a platform to improve and create better image for the police department and to enhance law and order services.
According to CLRC Secretary Dr. Mange Matui, GESI values are in the Constitution and have been practiced in communities. However, it seemed to be missing at workplace as people tend to forget these values. Secretary Sansan further urged the police department to create positions for GESI officers within their organization. All participants were also urged to add value to their work after the completion of this training. Rayon Lakingu, National, MTV News.
The PNG Women in Politics has welcomed the changes made in the revised organic law on the integrity of political parties and candidates to allow equal participation for both men and women in the national elections. But they hope women who join these political parties are not used as doormats.
The Registry of Political Parties and Candidates has submitted the revised law on the organic law on the integrity of political parties and candidates, or OLIPAC, to the National Executive Council. The revised law is still yet to be read in Parliament and endorsed. Part of the revised law, specifically Section 25, requires political parties to have 20% of female candidates. This is known as the quota system. But instead of having women directly into Parliament, they contest elections like their male counterparts. The PNG Women in Politics founder Dorothy Tekwi says while they welcome these changes by the Registry of Political Parties and Candidates Commission, women must also be on the political party mechanism.
We want to see women going in through political parties, but we don't want them to be just doormats. We don't want them to be used for numbers only to tell the women voters that we are a party that supports women. We want to see them given the resources, the support, and the backing they need to be able to get in as candidates and win as politicians.
The PNG Women in Politics support the idea of introducing the quota system, but have different views on how and where it should be implemented, citing experiences from different countries.
Governments around the world which have passed laws for 30% quota for women, for special temporary measures for women, for a certain period of time. And this is what we have been talking about, the reserved seats for women. Greece, Sweden, they are places where women have used quotas to get women in. And now they don't need the quota system anymore because women have proven to the voters that they can do better, just as well or even better than men, because they go in genuinely with hearts to serve the people rather than serve themselves and their cronies.
As we are fast approaching the end of another year and the 2022 national general elections could be less than a year away, the Register of Political Parties and Candidates, Dr. Alphonse Gelu, is keeping his fingers crossed that the changes to the organic law on the integrity of political parties and candidates goes through its first reading in Parliament during the November session. It has taken the Registry of Political Parties and Candidates Commission 8 years to complete the revised law. Shamin Poreambab, National MTV News.
An audit committee has been launched for the Registry of Political Parties and Candidates Commission. According to the Department of Finance, this is the 49th audit committee that it has launched for various organizations in Papua New Guinea. The committee launching took place this morning in Port Moresby.
There are over 40 political parties registered with the Integrity of Political Parties and Candidates Commission in Papua New Guinea. With just over a year to go before the next general election in 2022, matters relating to political parties is a crucial area of concern. And one of the most important factors in this is transparency and accountability.
This is the only program in government that sees that. And when people come and talk about our systems and process, we have a system that will say, we have a system that works. So this morning, the important people who plays an important part in this program is the internal audit unit. Without the internal audit unit in any organization, systems and process will fall apart. So what I'd like to bring across here with this organization here is value internal audit and ensure that they're being given adequate resources so that they can sit down and help you shape this organization to become effective.
Deputy Secretary Sam Peñas represented the Finance Department Secretary to launch an audit committee for the Registry of Political Parties and Candidates Commission. Representatives from the Auditor General's office were also present to witness the occasion. The aim of establishing the audit committee is to ensure good governance and transparency in accordance with the Public Finance Management Act.
So we'll work through the agency to ensure that we have a timely, efficient reporting of financials. It starts with a bank reconciliation. If we don't do a bank reconciliation done at the first place, there's something wrong. So how do we go and address those issues to ensure that we get a bank reconciliation done? We look at what are the things that needs to assist the process work better. So this is what we do. We are not policemen. We are here to ensure that police do not come and investigate. We are here to ensure that all the things done in the agency are right and according to systems and process that is laid down by whether it's PFMA or whatever law that is applicable to the agency concerned.
The launching program concluded with a question and answer session allowing stakeholders of the Registry of Political Parties and Candidates Commission to engage in dialogue with the Commission regarding the establishment of an audit committee. Dennis Orere, National MTV News.
15,000 solar home kits will be delivered and installed in West New Britain Province under a newly launched Rural Off-Grid Energy Access Program supported by the Papua New Guinea-Australia Partnership. The solar home kits are part of the West New Britain Electrification Project, which delivers sustainable solutions to remote communities. The solar home kits will include clean lighting and charging facilities and will be prioritized for communities with the least access to electrification in Kandrian Gloucester and Thalassia districts. This project is part of Australia's commitment to help PNG meet its target of connecting 70% of the country to electricity by 2030. Believers in the Yongai Parish in Waitape LLG in the Ngoilala district of Central Province are looking forward to the completion of their modern church building, a community investment that has been described as a great initiative for the Catholic followers. Yesterday, a funding of 300,000 kina was presented by the district to commence building the church structure.
Located in Chirime Valley, the Catholic parish has a following of close to 500 people. The Ngoilala District Development Authority presented a check of over 300,000 kina to construct a new permanent church building. At the moment, locals fellowship in this traditional makeshift house on Sundays.
Islamanian by Kilapim Church below Mipla Lot Place, where Mipla by giving honor law big man antap.
Due to the remoteness of communities in Ngoilala district, materials for this new building will be flown in by air. The DDA plans to have that sorted out this week for work to commence this weekend.
So this 370,000, these two checks will go to meet the cost of the building, and DDA will meet the cost of logistics to send all the equipment there, equipment, materials there.
Construction of the new church building is expected to be completed in the next 6 weeks.
This last 6 weeks, I'm all mangi guantab, I'm all by working this project, all by completing long way I'm locasem.
Bradley Valenaki, National MTV News.
And now looking at the NASFund market report, the kina opened unchanged at 0.2860 US dollars in the interbank market this morning. At Bank South Pacific, your kina is buying 0.2785 US dollars, 0.3823 Australian dollars, 0.4157 New Zealand dollars, and 28.68 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee closed higher, cocoa closed lower, and copra closed unchanged. Crude oil is trading higher, palm oil and copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX 200 is trading higher, the All Ordinaries is trading higher. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Wednesday's news. A third-year University of Papua New Guinea male student has gone missing for at least 3 days now. 22-year-old McLaren Akua from a mixed parentage of East Sepik Province and the autonomous region of Bougainville was last seen at 9 Mile Plaza in NCD on Sunday, the 11th of October. His family and friends are still searching for him, with some of his friends from the University of Papua New Guinea filing a missing persons report at the Borgo police station today.
My name is Gabriel Miral. I'm a third-year student at UPNG, and I'm here with my friends. We are here to report our friend. Our friend was our friend's name is McLaren Akua. He went missing, and he was last seen at 9 Mile Plaza on Sunday the 11th. We've also filed a missing person report at the Boroko police station. So if any of you guys, if any of you seen him, you can report to the Boroko police station.
Morebe's provincial government and ELC PNG today signed an MOU with the national government. Through the PNG Education Institute, the MOU has endorsed early childhood teachers training. The training center will be established in the Finchafen district and would be classified as a national institution to train teachers. Morbe Governor Ginson Saonu said training should begin early next year once the facility is ready.
The MOU signed today was to formalize the establishment of Elsbeck Early Childhood Teachers Learning Center in Finchafen. It will be identified as a national institution.
This agreement is for a period of 3 years and it's renewable with a lot of reviews to be done to improve on the responsibilities that is contained in the MOU.
Signing of Memorandum of Understanding will give a new life to the Morobe Division of Education, Provincial Administration, Government of Morobe, National Department of Education and PNGEI to chart a new way forward to improve and raise the quality and standard of education through quality early childhood teacher training. The concept of teacher training should add value to what the Lutheran Church has started in Morobe.
The concept was initiated by a team of educationists from Morobe, headed by Governor Ginson Saunu. The MOU signed this morning will be followed by the launching of the Early Childhood Teachers Learning Center early next year.
The Morobe Stevens government, or now the Morobe Basel government, emphasize on shared responsibility. And I've been speaking mainly in the last couple of months. I've invited all the governors down to Port Moresby where we had a consultative meeting, and we emphasized more on shared responsibility. We need to partner with all the provincial government to work together to improve quality of education.
Early childhood learning concept was an initiative of the Morobe provincial government that emphasizes child learning from 4 years up.
The concept is part of Morbe's government policy that was recently adopted by the national government to be implemented in the country next year.
So for aspect teacher training college, I challenge the province to set that standard where the most competent, proficient, best teachers in the country are prepared at that college.
Early childhood education consists of 3 years of learning and once implemented would replace the elementary schools.
My dear Secretary, Dr. Ukekombra, and Acting Chairman, Teaching Service Commission, Mr. Samson Wangehomi. Morobe Province is one of the provinces in Papua New Guinea, has a lot of outstanding issues. All elementary teachers in relation to incomplete trainings, certifications, and salary backlogs, which has already affected their teaching and learning. Please, I want this issue to be sorted out once and for all through this new arrangement of Elspark Early Teachers Training.
The Hellsberg Early Childhood Training Center costs 2 million kina. The training will be for the teachers of elementary school and interested applicants with grade 12 certificates. The training will begin early next year.
I would like to assure you that my government is taking Hellsberg Teacher Training Center will be top priority agenda for my government in terms of funding, infrastructure development, and other key areas. This year, funding has been allocated for renovation, teacher training, logistics, and etc. We have purchased, let me say this, we have purchased a vehicle for the institution.
Julie Badui, OA, National MTV News, Leh.
Trukai Sports is next. Fidelis Sukina, what have you got in sports tonight?
Yes, Jeremy, we have a story from Kikori on the Olympic Values Program and a rugby program to increase participation globally. Join me for Trukai Sports after the break.
Trukai Sports.
And good night and welcome to Trukai Sports. PNG hero athletes recently visited Kikori district in the Western Province for the annual Olympic Values Program with focus on Olympics values. The 5-day trip saw the national heroes inspiring young children and hopefuls in the remote areas.
Team PNG hero athletes just returned from a week-long outreach program of the PNG Olympic Committee. The program is focused on sharing the Olympic values of excellence, friendship, and respect, with emphasis on sharing the spirit of Olympism, which places sport in the service of humanity. Former PNG sprinter and Olympian Nelson Stone was excited with the presence of raw talent in the remotest areas, but was saddened that the lack of pathways to building and guiding these talents is a major setback. Schools visited include the district's primary and secondary schools and Veuro Primary School. Diamori, national basketballer, Milton Kisapai, PNG rep in hockey, are part of the PNG Athletes Heroes team who conducted the ExxonMobil-sponsored Olympic Values Education Program. Kilawani, Trukai Sports.
After their grand final win on Sunday, Leh City FC will now look forward to the OFC Champions League next year. Coach Bob Morris, after their win on Saturday, said they will be planning ahead for the competition.
To source, one or two players just to fill the gap, but we need to have more lead-ups, and it's underway. We'll plan for that when we go back. It's up to the sponsor, and we need to get one or two players outside. But I would think that we need to have more lead-ups, one or two international lead-ups, just to strengthen our team. But I think the boys can do it. The way they are going, they are very structured. So if we source one or two internationals and have one or two international leaders, I think we are heading the right way.
The Get Into Rugby program is World Rugby strategy to increase participation in rugby union across the world. Papua New Guinea is rolling out the program also, and 2 participating provinces will host a rugby festival to showcase what they learned in the program. There are 12 provinces listed for the Get Into Rugby program in Papua New Guinea, but the program has only been active in some locations across the country. Recently, the Get Into Rugby equipment was shipped to Papua New Guinea and will be distributed to participating schools across the country.
East New Britain, we had Goroka, Daru, and Arama. So those are the few active locations that took part last, those. So hopefully with the delivery of this equipment now we're able to go back and revisit some of our new unions and also, revamp those other ones that are dormant at the moment.
The program is focused on students at the school level to learn the basics of the sport of rugby union and later on challenge each other in a game of rugby union. Silosi Druma, Papua New Guinea Rugby Union Training and Education Coordinator, says Hula in the Central Province will be hosting a rugby festival next month to showcase what they have learned.
We have 8 elementary, 6 primary school and 2 high schools. So Kamabol is included in there and Hood Point.
Silosi added that the East Sepik province also has been taking part in the Get Into Rugby program and will be hosting a rugby union festival of their own.
East Sepik, they're having the festival next month. We have about 12 schools there. So at the moment, those are the only 2 provinces that are active.
It is a big task, but PNG Rugby is determined to get the programs running across the country to ensure more participation in the sport.
We don't want to just go and touch and go. We just want to make sure that we stay there and hopefully see the program right through. Okay, because this program is an 8 weeks program. We want to make sure they learn all the skills of rugby and hopefully have a competition between the schools. That's the only way we know that they've learned and they've understood the game.
That story ends Trukai Sports. Up next, the weather details for the next 24 hours. Bye for now.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus. With you always.
With a forecast across the country for the next 24 hours, the southern region, Port Moresby, cloudy morning clearing, then a mostly fine day. Popondetta, cloudy with a few morning showers expected, while in Alotau, cloudy with chances of occasional showers and a high of 32 degrees. Over to the Momase region, in Ley, cloudy with occasional rain showers. Wurak, partly cloudy with afternoon thundery showers imminent. Vanimo, mostly fine to partly cloudy morning with afternoon showers developing, a high of 31 degrees. Across to the New Guinea Islands region, in Lorengau, occasional thundery rain showers and cloudy weather. Kokopo and Rabaul, occasional rain showers and thunderstorms, while in Kimbe, expecting overcast weather with occasional rain showers and thunder, a high of 33 degrees. And finally, in the Highlands region, in Goroka and Kundiawa, morning fog patches clearing with drizzles, then fine to partly cloudy day. Mendi and Wabeg, morning fog patches clearing into a partly cloudy day with afternoon showers likely. While in Mount Hagen, morning fog clearing with afternoon showers developing, a high of 25 degrees.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus. With you always.
And that's the news, sport and weather for Wednesday, 14th of October 2020. Be safe, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.